Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes, and we got a big show for you guys tonight. A lot of new faces in the Zoom chat, but we got some old faces, some new faces. So a good mix of both. Cody's back. That's good news. He wasn't here last week or two. Seth's always in here. Shout out Seth Killen. But we're gonna introduce three new guests tonight. Let's go ahead and start off. We got Jay Lev in the building. Just tell them where you're from, who's your team, a little bit about yourself.
From Birmingham, Bears fan. Caleb Williams 1-0 at Lambeau Field. We're just gonna throw that out there to start. But yeah, man, bear down. That's only team I like, only team I'm riding for. So there we have it.
No Auburn Tigers anymore for Jay Love. It's all right.
No, I could only take so much mid in my life, I have a limit.
But an Auburn fan here, Braxton McKinney, shout out to Brax, holding it down for the Tigers. Give us a little bit about yourself, your NFL team if you have one. I don't even know if you do, brother.
Yes, my name is Braxton McKinney. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I currently do not have an NFL team. I used to be a Patriots fan, but I am no longer a Patriots fan as of 2022. And I am still looking for an NFL team as we speak, but I am a diehard Auburn fan until the day I die. We have been pretty mid over the last 7 years, but in 2025, with the number 6 recruiting class in 2024, number 8 recruiting class in 2024, number 6 recruiting class in 2025, and the number 6 transfer portal class in 2025 with the number 1 receiver.
This is not about Auburn.
We are. I'm just saying.
Someone pick up my man. Goddamn.
We are going to do well in the 2025 season. But yes, my name is Braxton. Thank you for having me on. Very excited to get into the debates. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Wow,
that was a beautiful introduction right there. I just felt like we were hiring him for a spot.
When you were going on like the initial start of that Auburn thing, it sounded like you were the Patriots thing. You were like, stop being a fan in 2022. Kind of sounded like you got like a breakup or a divorce, and I was like, now I'm looking for a new love.
I thought it sounded like he was like in rehab and introducing himself. In AA, he said, I used to be a Patriots fan, but no longer am as of 2022.
We could get more into why I'm not a Patriots fan later on in the series, but just know that at this time I don't have an NFL home, just a diehard fan, not a casual, and I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Sounds good. Well, we got another new face here, my brother-in-law, Griffin Morris, and he's also affiliated with another one of our teams in the Discord or the
sir.
That's brought up a lot.
Yes, sir. Big time steal down. Justin Fields truther.
Steal down. Steal down.
Absolutely is the truth. And I think we should just get started on that.
Yeah.
About it.
So that's it for the introductions. Pretty much today we are going to talk about in the beginning a little bit of some Justin Fields debate because Steelers fans in the chat are always talking about him. We got an old Bears fan in here, or an old Justin Fields fan. That's a Bears fan. And then we have Braxton, who for some reason is riding for Fields. So I don't really know where that came from, but we're about to find out why. And we're going to get into, obviously, NFL divisional round, maybe touch on the wild card a little bit. And then at the end, we are going to give our picks on the national championship coming up on Monday for Ohio State, Notre Dame. And then anything else that we can think of as we just go. This might be a little crazy and hectic. But so the group chat has been blowing up for a while now. I mean, we talk about Justin Fields a lot, just, like I mentioned, whether it was the Bears last year and would he get paid? Where's he going to go in free agency? Maybe he goes to the Falcons or the trade, I mean. And then obviously he started this year with the Steelers, had a good little start. Then they moved on to Russ. So we had some debates going on in the group chat as of late talking about Justin Fields versus another guy that he's been compared to pretty much his whole college football career, and that's Trevor Lawrence. So
really, his whole high school career too.
Right.
Yeah, since growing up.
So what they were both from Georgia, 1 and 2 in the class, that year. Pretty much, I think at the Elite 11. I don't know if it was Fields that won it or if it was Trevor, but vice versa. It doesn't matter. They were like the guys neck and neck to win it. They played each other twice in the playoffs in college. Both times they split. I'm pretty sure Fields got the better of him the second time because we always see that highlight of Olave going deep, that beautiful deep pass. And Trevor got him the first time, but then obviously they got drafted to the NFL, and then from there, they get talked about in the same breath. And Braxton believes Justin Fields. Well, this actually all started with Justin Fields over Jalen Hurts. That might be for another time, but for now, Justin Fields versus Trevor Lawrence. And Braxton, you can make your case to why you think he's
Okay.
better.
I believe that Justin Fields is a superior quarterback to Trevor Lawrence for a multitude of reasons. We will start with his vision for the field. I mean, that might not have been the best phrase to state that,
Okay.
but I do want to say that I do believe Justin does make the right decisions when given ample amount of time, like he was given in the 2024 season. If you look at the way he performed when he was the starter for the Steelers while Russell Wilson was injured, he really shined. He really showed his true abilities when you put him in a proper system, when you put him with talent equal to him, when you put him with people that are actual weapons. George Pickens, for example. I know George was a little frustrated at first, but at the end of the day, they were winning games. Justin had 5 touchdowns and 1 interception, along with 5 rushing touchdowns. So a total of 10 touchdowns and 1 interception and 6 games starting and only 1 interception. So I just really believe that he is a great talent when you put him in the proper system. I know he had some challenges with the Bears, and we can talk
That boy,
about
that boy had some challenges.
he has some challenges, but there's multiple reasons. I mean, Darnell Mooney is a wide receiver 3 on 31 NFL teams. He was a
Brother,
wide receiver
Darnell Mooney
1.
put up like
that
1,000
is a
yards
hot
this year.
take.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney
I
had
will
a
say, I
Brax,
will
he
say
don't
was
with
kinda
disrespect
hot.
Darnell
Kirk
I'm not going to
Cousins,
Mooney.
disrespect.
Darnell
All
was
right,
doing
I'm
the job.
sorry. I'm not trying to
But
disrespect Darnell Mooney. I'm not trying
Because he
to, but I'm
was
just
like really good this year.
he was good. He was good, but he was good because he didn't have every single team's best cornerback on him.
I could say
That's
that
fair.
Darnell
That's
Mooney
fair.
thrived once he got a quarterback,
Yeah, I mean, but
Once
I
he
could
got a
say
quarterback,
I could
like
say
a
he
real good
thrived when he was
quarterback.
actually like the wide receiver 3 and not a wide receiver 1 or 2 for a team.
But he wasn't last year. Braxton talked about 2024 or 2023. I mean, he was the wide receiver 2 next to DJ Moore.
yeah,
He
I
did
mean,
nothing that
He
year,
did,
Chad,
DJ
right?
well,
Moore. I
He
mean,
was
at
because
one
locked
point,
down. Darnell
let's
Mooney
not
was
act
locked
like
up the whole.
let's not act like Matt Eberflus was done with Justin Fields from the day one. He never wanted Fields. He was looking ahead to this season since he got the job. Now, Fields, when he was drafted, he had Matt Nagy as his coach. Nagy was
yeah,
fired
but
due to his poor ability. Am I right, Mr. Leventree, as a
no, I mean,
Bears
but at
fan?
one point though, the backfield Justin had was like Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery. Then he had DJ Moore, or not DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, then Cole Kmet. So it's like, bro had weapons. Like you guys see what David Montgomery's possible, like can do. I mean, you know what Darnell Mooney can do. Cole Kmet is like he's kind of hit or miss. I don't know what it is with him, but I don't know, dude. Like I get it. That one year when we tore it down to the studs, like I get it. Justin had like nobody, like at all. We had the worst roster for sure, but like I don't know, just 4 years, bro. Seeing him not see the field well, in my opinion, because like
Right.
sure the touchdowns are great in Pittsburgh, but how many of those touchdowns are like longer than 20 yards?
So
And
that's
what
where I like
Not a
how
lot of them.
you guys started
And
off the conversation. But now, yeah, Steelers segue. So you guys can talk about that now.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't think Justin showed his true potential in those first 6 games. I thought it was a little bit sloppy. But the thing that he did really well was he stayed ahead of the chains. Whenever he thought a play was broken down, which I think was fairly quick, he was on one read a lot of the time and then tucking it. But stayed ahead of the chains, and I think he does better than any other quarterback in the league. He falls forward every single time. He is consistently gaining yards or positive yards for an offense. Very rarely do you see them in a third and long situation. And on
Right.
top of that, him and I think the Najee tandem, they aren't Derrick Henry and Lamar, but they are a very good downhill tandem. together. And then you throw in a Jalen Warren that is able to be explosive on that offense and get some swing routes. And they did start to throw Najee out of the backfield more, which I liked. But again, Russ was happy feet back there. It was
Yeah, it
ugly
was
to watch.
bad.
It was very painful to watch.
Let
So
me let, let me say,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that the Steelers made a bad decision replacing just. I mean, because let's not the ninth game of the season or the seventh game, whenever Russell got to start, you
The
saw
ball was
George
cooking.
Pickens get happy again.
Yeah,
He was
Mhm.
dropping dots right in his
yeah.
chest.
I will
And that's
say that
something
is
I
very
will
true.
say that Justin didn't do well. Like he wasn't utilizing the talent around him as best as he could have. But like Griffin said, I mean,
Totally
it's
agree.
an
Yeah.
it's his new system, first year there. I mean,
I will say
but
also
first
that
six
we have
games,
a lot of rookies on our O line and a lot of injuries that were happening. We barely even got to play our guy we drafted last year because he was injured half the season. And Broderick Jones has just been selling this whole
Crash
year,
out.
crashing out,
he was a
doing
crash out.
Yeah.
penalties, 3 penalties in one drive. And I mean, I would say, I mean, I like Russ with the way he could probably read the field and make those deciding passes, but with an O line like that and Arthur Smith as the OC loving to run the ball
Mhm.
as much as he does, I just feel like Justin Fields fits that scheme a little better than Russ
And
would.
Russ was also slow off the spot to
Yeah,
get out of the
yeah. And I
pocket.
feel like Justin could
It
have
was
made
just hard.
half those runs where he was running out of the pocket a little couple more
Yeah,
yards
Right.
than he
Before
was.
before I make any points on Justin, I want to hear from Cody just because it's been a while. I've heard from Cody, and because he hasn't been on, and as a guy that's not a fan of either these teams,
Yeah.
what do you think about Justin Fields?
I mean, personally, I think I like him. I like Justin Fields. I just
I like
like
Justin as as a young upcoming quarterback. I think he's a good guy. It's just I don't know if he can get you to where you want to be. That's what I gotta say.
I
What
think
do you
he's
mean young and upcoming?
Like he's a young and upcoming guy
He's
where
only
it's like
25. Like he's
you
so
I
you
know,
like
young.
him
but
you like him as a sense of like, okay, you can build him up and work with him. He's got all the tools, but at the same time, I don't love him compared to a lot of these other options that we're getting. And then I'll let Cody go because I literally just
yeah,
want to hear from
yeah.
Cody.
no. I mean, I like what Brack said earlier. Like he's still got to learn that offense. Like he just kind of came in and got rushed out there. He looked all right the first 6 games, until Russ took over. Like Griff said, a little sloppy play, but I think it's just he needs time to learn the playbook, get adjusted to new faces, new teammates.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
But
I
come
think,
to it like
it's really
sorry.
about their trust.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
come to it like week, 15, 16. I was thinking at some point they were gonna make a
Bring
switch
him
back
back.
Yeah.
because
Right.
like it's been a few months. Like you should
Yeah,
know the book.
Well, that's a
exactly,
different conversation,
Yeah, but
I
that's a
mean,
different convo.
Mike
exactly.
So
Tomlin, when it comes once he
yeah,
gets
I
that
could
10th win,
He doesn't know how to play football.
he's
He
He
mentally in
doesn't, but he
Cancun at
forgets.
that point.
Yeah.
can't
He's on
cook.
the record. He's on the resort. But I pulled up on my computer here some offensive line rankings from the 2024 season, and the Steelers' offensive line actually ranked number 23 in the NFL according to lineups.com. I'm not sure how trusted of a source they are,
That sounds
but
about right though.
Yeah,
I
it definitely
mean,
yeah,
does,
but
if
they were
not
definitely middle of the
worse.
pack. They
Yeah.
were not a top tier
Leaning
Yeah.
so
towards the end of the
group.
pack.
so that just means that even with the number 23 offensive line, Justin was still receiving a lot of pressure at the beginning of the year as well. Because I mean, that's a new offensive line. Dan Moore at left tackle. James Daniels at right tackle. I just those are names that don't really
They don't ring no
They don't do it
bells.
for
they
you.
don't ring no bells. They don't,
No.
And I'm just saying, even with that offensive line, he was able to produce. He was a little rough around the edges, 100%, but at the end of the day, he was getting wins. He was getting dubs.
Yeah.
And it
So
seemed like the team was kind of rallying around him. I mean, they were starting to.
yeah.
Let's not forget, none of the Bears players wanted Justin Fields to
No, they
leave the
did.
Bears.
Oh yeah.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. You're right. I thought you
They
were about to
all
say-
wanted it. They all wanted him on the field. They all
Yeah.
wanted him on the team. Like they were all fans of him. Nobody wanted him to leave. Now,
Okay,
granted,
but do you really think they're gonna tell you though their true feelings? Like, yeah, get him the out of here. Yeah. Like we're
I
sick
think
of bro.
that's why I like Fields is that like he's a likable guy. Like obviously you want to play for somebody like that. That does go a long way in the locker room. So if we're just strictly talking like the first point was Trevor Lawrence,
I
this is
we
where
haven't
we
even
this is
talked about
where
Trevor
this is where
Lawrence.
we got all
Forgot
crazy
about
in the
bro.
group chat. Okay.
Yep.
So I believe personally, like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields have been mid at times. Well, Braxton says Trevor Lawrence was borderline ass.
Yes.
I personally
I
think that's
agree.
kind of crazy.
Not ass.
Just considering that he does have at least 2, years in a row, 4,000 yards. He did it like he's still in the Jaguars. And then you're
Yeah.
also taking your team to the playoffs. I know you had to come back and win in a crazy way against the Chargers. Maybe they sold, whatever you want to think about. But he put up like 4 tutties in the second half that game. Then they went kind of toe to toe with the Chiefs that next week, if anybody remembers. Mahomes got hurt, whatever.
Yeah.
But so to say all that, I think Trevor had a bad year this rookie year because you can, throw Urban Meyer out of the window. Like that was the whole like the
That was
rookie
Yeah,
year.
that was a trash. Yeah, that
Then
was
the
terrible.
last year we just saw what Trevor was struggling in the beginning, and then he had the concussion where he got boomed and he got hurt after that. So that wasn't a lot to see other than those bad games. So I mean, you're left with that bad taste in your mouth. So I understand that. Now, where I'm like, okay, if we're debating who's the better of the mid, I'm still taking Trevor Lawrence because he has that passing upside, and bro is still 6'6", can run the ball. And I just think historically, you're looking at the way. Okay, first of all, how do they talk about Trevor Lawrence? He's the next best prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck or whatever you want to talk about. Yes, he hasn't lived up to it. He still got paid a lot of money because of the production he had in those, that one particular season where I mentioned one of the playoffs.
The
So
second year,
they
right?
view him
Yeah.
as something more than just a rookie quarterback that's just going to get you a few wins and then okay, Justin Fields like he's gone now. Time for the next guy. So I think I'm trusting the NFL GMs, the scouts, whoever that's always had him slightly above Justin Fields and my eyes, which have told me I saw literally Trevor Lawrence was like 7th, I think, in most like wide receiver drops in the league. And you watch compilations like that are on Twitter or whatever. It's just like 2 minutes of Calvin Ridley last year dropping passes, Zay Jones, whoever it was. This year it wasn't ever Brian Thomas, but like Christian Kirk, whatever the guys they had replacing Evan Ingram, whoever it was. It was just like, to me, Trevor Lawrence has upside that you can't see from Justin Fields. Now, I do think in the same breath, Justin Fields clears a lot of these terrible starting quarterbacks that we see. Like, for instance, I don't think Daniel Jones is very good, but there's a comparison to be made if you look at their body of work. And me and Jack have looked at that a couple times.
So I got a question. I mean, I'm not box watching, but if you look at the quarterback ratings year after year, so Trevor Lawrence rookie year, 71.9 QBR.
Yeah.
Year 2, sophomore year, his anomaly year, 95.2. He had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's a legit season.
That's a solid year.
That's a really good year. Year 3, 88.5 QBR, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. And then this year, before the injury, he started 10 games, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And I look at Justin Fields, and he had an 85.2 QBR this year. Justin Fields, rookie year, better QBR, not good, but it was 73.2, so about 2 points higher. Sophomore year, 85.2. Junior year, 86.3. And then this year, he had 93.3 before he got benched on the QBR.
I wouldn't even say he got benched too, because whenever Russ came in and started, Mike Tomlin came in the press conference and said you can't lose your starting job to an injury. And so
Yeah.
because before the season, Russell was supposed to be the starter
It was, yeah.
already, and Justin Fields just came in and looked great, and so we wanted to keep him.
They did pay they paid him too much. They paid Russell too much money to sit him down. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, they
Like
paid him
paid him
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, it was just $1 million, but like he had the money from the Broncos still that they were paying him. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like he told him that he was a starter, so they can't bench him since he was a starter. Or
I just
Mike
think
is the
Justin
man of his word.
Stats are misleading because like Justin, like, yeah, like the flashes of things he can do are great, and the athleticism and the broken tackles and the elusiveness, and like that's where he starts fooling people in my head, at least. Because watching him for 4 years, bro, I'm like, this kid can be great. This kid can be great. But like every time he was given a big opportunity to like show, hey, I'm that dude. Like that's why y'all brought me here. It always ended so bad, dude. And there was like just it's just I don't know. I just feel like you either got that clutch gene or you don't have it. And what good is it,
You don't think he
all your
has it.
talent, if you don't have that clutch gene? You know, like unless you're
Yeah.
in the absolute perfect situation every season, I just think you're gonna struggle. I mean,
Do you think you can develop it over time, that clutch scene at all? And just being
I
in
don't
that
know.
situation over and over and over again, so you gotta just
I don't
learn from
know.
it.
I mean, I
Who's the
think
guy
just
that's done that though? Who's the guy you can be like, yeah, he got better, like clutch down the stretch, like it's his 6th year or 5th year, like
the only
Baker,
person
low
right now
key.
is
Baker, but like he
Baker?
always had that
Yeah,
dog
but no,
in
but
him though.
he was always in college.
I
I mean,
mean,
could we say Sam Darnold?
I was gonna say
No,
Not
Sam
yet,
Darnold
not yet.
was not
But-
clutch the last
Okay,
2
okay,
games.
okay.
But
My bad,
look,
my bad, my bad.
he had a better season this year than Justin has ever had in his entire career.
Okay, so who would you rather have, Brax? Sam Darnold or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
Yeah, give me Justin.
Give me Justin Fields over
I
Sam
think.
Darnold. Are you kidding me?
I'm just thinking like
It's not
about
even-
the season that Sam Darnold just had was
I mean,
kind of
Sam
crazy.
The season
Darnold just went
Sam Darnold-
14-3,
That is kind of crazy.
In
dude.
the
He
NFC
went
and he
North,
played great.
Okay,
He
but let's
played
not.
great.
We're forgetting here. Sam Darnold had an elite defense. Brian Flores is an elite defensive coordinator.
I
And
agree.
literally Justin
He had
Jefferson,
he had Justin Jefferson and
Jordan
Jordan
Addison.
Addison
So
And,
Fields
I
is
mean-
getting
Yeah,
you
but-
and
Fields is getting you
Hawkinson. Does he
14
have
wins.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
You think Fields
Fields
gets
is
him
getting
14
us 14
wins?
wins.
With
Yep.
that defense,
I
yes,
think
I
this
feel
is
like
like
Fields
a.
is getting. I don't think. I mean, I feel
I
like
don't
what
know.
Jack's saying. I feel like
I
what
don't know.
Jack was saying. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're saying some of Justin Fields' playmaking, like some of not playmaking, but some of his decisions, his decision making on the field was not great. He didn't
yeah,
have the
no,
best. He didn't see the field that great. He
no, I
had a
think,
low IQ sometimes. That were
yeah, I
you,
just think Justin, when you ask him to be like, hey, go be a quarterback, he like just is like, oh, I'll try, you know, like
Are you
I'll
saying like going through like 3 reads, sitting in the pocket, and
Like-
making like
Like
a
2-minute warning. Let's
spot
go.
on accurate pass?
at least in Chicago, Justin, if his first read was not there, he's going.
Because that's all he did in Pittsburgh too. His first
Yeah, well,
read,
that's
if
my
that was
point,
not
though.
there, he'd put his head down and go.
I mean,
That
you
is
have
Yeah.
to,
true.
Ski-
but
Yeah.
the
if that's
pocket is
like
collapsing at that point. Like he doesn't have
no,
enough
but it's
time
not
to
for
No.
other
sit there.
quarterbacks.
every other quarterback can get to
For
their
other
third read.
quarterbacks, they
Even
shuffle
Dak,
up and
even
they.
Dak can get to his third read. So I feel you on that one.
I just feel like it can't be that hard to get through all your reads, you know? Like how hard could that be? I see, you know, I'm not trying to be this guy, but I see Caleb get through 4 reads.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's just like, what the hell? You know?
It's
I've
so
never
impressive,
seen that in my
too.
life.
We've
Quarterback.
already established that Caleb, the Bears moving on from Caleb was a great decision. In my opinion, I mean, Caleb, he is an elite talent,
I
great
mean,
QB prospect.
my final
But
word on Justin is I think he can be great. He wasn't great in Chicago. He had great moments, but I don't know. And I'm rooting for Justin. I want him to be great because he's a world class talent, athletically speaking. You know what I'm saying? So I'll believe it when I see it. That's where I stand on it.
All
I
right.
feel
So
you.
I feel like that was a pretty good debate. I mean, we could go on for a long time,
We
I
could
think,
really
about
go
this.
back and forth.
But I think we got our point across about how, the Bears saw Fields, how Steelers see him, how we think he compares to Trevor Lawrence. But like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Fields, I wish him the best. Like, I do think he's a good guy, and I feel like he's got a lot of upside. But it's just hard for me to be like, yeah, he's the franchise guy. Like, let's pay him all his money.
Are you
So
paying
before,
Fields
before we
150 million?
switch,
Ask yourself.
no, we're not. We're
No.
not paying him that. Not right
No,
now.
I would
So
the Steel-
give him like another. I don't know.
we're giving them
3-year,
like a
45 at most.
What about a
Let's just-
2-year deal worth 60 million?
I like that.
I like
I'm
that.
30
saying,
million
you
a
let Justin
year?
Fields
No.
start. If you
Why?
let him start 15 games for the
No,
Steelers,
he's getting like 15 million a year. He's not reaching 20 million a year.
I feel like
if you let Justin Fields start 15 games for the Steelers, I feel like that answer might change. I mean, if he actually got to grow in that system. I feel like that answer might change. The more he got to work with the QB coach and the more he got to learn
Learn
and the
from
more he got to
Russ.
develop, I mean, I feel like that answer might change. Now, at the end of the day, I get what you guys are saying. I really do. Trevor Lawrence, he is, I would say, a franchise QB, but I'm just saying I don't think Justin got that fair chance.
Yeah,
And that's not the
I
Bears'
agree.
fault. No, I mean, at the end of the day, due to his dual threat ability, like I keep saying, he's a true dual threat. He's got the arm talent of any QB you can name, besides like Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. And he's got running ability, I would say, one tier below Lamar.
Yeah,
You can make that, you can genuinely make that a franchise QB, in my opinion. I
yeah, you
think
can't. I
Justin
mean,
Fields' ability is higher. I feel like his ceiling is higher than Trevor Lawrence. That's all I'm trying to say. I mean,
That's
Here's
where
a good
I'm.
one. Here's
That's
a
where
good
I
one.
don't agree.
Ready?
But it's
Would
fine.
you take a Justin Fields or a Jalen Milrow?
Justin
'Cause
Fields. I'm taking
just
Justin
feels,
Justin?
Fields. Yeah.
Just
Don't even think
I'm
about that.
off the Jalen Milrow bandwagon.
Totally off.
Totally off, bro.
Cody, are you off?
I
Are
know
you
Cody's
off? Are you off, Jalen?
Oh, I've been off. I've been off since the get-go.
Jalen Milrow, put the fries in the bag, bro. I mean,
I
put
respect the guy. He
fries.
won the SEC championship last year, but brother, it's time to put him up.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
time to chalk it up, brother.
I mean,
Yeah,
We
you
look,
better go sell some insurance.
I feel bad for
Swear to
that. I
God.
mean, low key though, like I know this is gonna sound so dirty, but like he would be just fired just to bring in just to run, just packages just to run.
I mean,
But
that's
I mean,
what we did with Justin.
That's
low
exactly
key.
what we did with
I
Justin.
mean, he's like a guy that's a freak of nature athlete, so I don't know.
That's what I see. I see them as like so complementary to each other.
But
Yeah.
Fields was so much better in college throwing the ball.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So much
Yeah. The
better.
deep ball was there, but he had
Well,
everyone.
Jalen's deep
So
ball is awesome, but Fields is a little bit more consistent, at least outside and in intermediate routes. Like Jalen Murrow, if it's
Yeah.
not a deep ball, he's running that shit, and Cody knows. I mean,
I really
yeah,
tried
if
not to
if
bring
it's not a
in
deep ball
Fields
or Ryan
college.
Williams, you're screwed.
Yeah. I really tried not to bring in Fields college days. I really do because I know college and NFL at the quarterback position do not translate well.
Fields, I will
No.
say, Fields had a nasty wide receiver core too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Disgusting.
Olave, Garrett Wilson, we know.
Ubeka, how do you Ibuka?
Ooh. Garrett Wilson to the Steelers.
No,
We keep Fields.
Possible.
Little
I mean, you
reunion.
gotta
I
make
think
a
it could be
trade,
it
yeah.
could be a
Little
Jets
reunion?
receiver.
Devontae Adams does kind of want to go to the
He
Steelers.
does.
Who are the
Dude,
Jets
that
going to
Play for a
hire
coach
at
that
head
doesn't
coach?
care.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're a
Jets.
player that's above 29 and at this point you want to go anywhere. Like they just want to go anywhere.
But did
like,
you hear what he
Yeah.
said though? Did you hear what he said on the K Adams show or whatever? Like he was basically saying like, "Oh, I would love Mike Tomlin. Like I'd love to go to play for him or something."
Is he done with Rodgers?
I mean, yeah, Rodgers is
I think Rodgers
retired.
is done.
You
Why
think?
is everybody
Yeah.
not done with Rodgers, bro?
Rodgers is done, dude.
I mean, seriously, like the only reason I'm serious when I say this, and I'm so strongly passionate about this. The only reason Rodgers is still relevant is because of Pat McAfee in his Glaze Fest every single Tuesday with Aaron Rodgers. That's
Yeah,
the only reason. Nobody else wants to hear bro talk. Pat is the only
that's
guy
not
that
wrong.
wants to hear him talk. How many other times do you hear Rodgers on talk shows?
Never.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's
Just
Yeah,
Pat.
how many books you
Never.
read?
I
How
don't
many
read.
books you read?
I don't read.
Nah, I agree.
Rodgers
Yeah,
is like
Rodgers is done.
is definitely
I don't like
retiring,
him.
and if he doesn't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if
I like him. I mean, I think he's still got skill. I mean, I watched a compilation of every touchdown Aaron Rodgers threw this year,
That's a
and
waste of time. Why would
No,
you
he
ask?
did look a lot
I
better.
I want
though.
those 3 minutes back.
Yeah.
no, he looked good. I mean,
He actually did play good down the stretch.
he didn't. I mean, besides they didn't. When did they get Devontae Smith? Was that the beginning of the year?
Devontae Adams was like middle of the season.
Devontae Adams. I'm sorry, not
Yeah.
Devontae Smith.
It was like when they
It's
were
set up.
4-6 or something, whatever they were.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at me, he was throwing to nobody besides Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson was getting clamped almost every play because they put the number one cornerback on him with every defense that they played, and not an easy division. Hate to
Yeah.
say it, but yeah.
All right, so let's go into. I kind of want to skip the Jalen Hurts thing because I feel like we'll talk about that one day. But
Yeah.
divisional round, we know Chiefs and Texans are the first game Saturday, and then the other game Saturday is Commanders at Lions. Both these games are pretty much heavy favorites. Chiefs favored by 8.5. They did win the game they played in beginning or the early. I think it was like December, maybe it was like 4 weeks ago. Am I wrong about this? It was like a month ago. They played the Texans in Arrowhead, and they won by 8. So it's kind of funny that the Texans barely covered that. But what do you think about this game? I mean, anybody can chime in. I mean, is this a blowout waiting to happen? Chiefs fully rested or what?
I don't want to say that because like the Texans surprised me the other day.
Yeah,
So
they were looking
Swear.
good.
I was out on the Texans, and by the end of that game, I felt dumb. I was like, "Ooh,
Same.
I didn't expect this,"
No,
And that's
Jack texted me. He said Chargers by double digits.
yeah. I said Chargers double digit dub. But that first drive though, it was Chargers, Chargers, Chargers. Like boom, we're running it. We don't care. You can't stop us. We're gonna
Yep.
do this all day. And they went right down and scored. And I was like, oh shit! Like I don't see this game being any fun to watch. And then sure enough, CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, all them boys got active. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I want to see the Chiefs lose. I hope the Texans win.
I hope the Texans win too.
I hope the Texans win.
I comfortably bet Chargers -3 on my parlay, and I was 100% confident in it. Like, so when they lost by 20, I was very surprised. But I mean, Will Anderson really balled out against the Chargers. I mean, and Justin Herbert that dude's done. I'm done with him. I mean,
You're done with him.
No
I'm done with
way.
Herbert. He's been in the league for how many years?
5.
And he puts up
Yeah,
a
he's
stinker every single time, dude. Every
Will
single time he
say
gets
that
in a
is-
clutch
Yeah,
situation.
That's facts, actually, and I do like Herbert, but that is facts.
He puts up like every time I try to give him any type of hope or any type of chance, grace. I mean, he played terribly.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. He might have thrown only 3 interceptions in the regular season, but throwing 4 interceptions in one game in a playoff game is insane work. Like I don't know,
It
dude.
was pretty bad. dude.
I'm done with Justin Herbert. I
Kevin
really think
Lawrence
he's
did that
mid.
too against the Chargers, and then
But-
ended up coming back and winning.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
wasn't that the
That's
comeback
thing.
game?
He came back the
That
second half and
was.
threw 4
Yeah.
tutties, so he matched
And
it.
and Herbert played great at the beginning of that game, and then
Yeah, I mean,
and
realistically,
then-
like Herbert should have one playoff win. I still think Herbert's awesome, but it's like he did have a terrible day.
Yeah, I
Kevin-
think Herbert's
yeah.
a dog too, but that was not a good
he
showing.
plays through injuries too. No, he's definitely a dog.
I would
Yeah,
take
he's
him
a
in a
dog,
heartbeat. I can't.
Yeah.
Me too.
I take him. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but just it seems like the moment gets too big for him. I tried to blame that comeback loss on Brandon Staley, as I should have. I mean,
That's easy to do, though. I get it.
The play
Yeah.
calling in the second half of that game
Yeah, they didn't
was
run the ball
atrocious
at all.
Like that
Dude.
was terrible.
I'm
Like,
not trying to change the subject, but real quick, talk about bad play calling. Kevin O'Connell the other night.
Dude,
What
that
the-
was.
Yeah, that
Dude.
was
I
awful.
Yeah.
think people were so wrong to just quickly just throw Darnold under the bus because he was so bad. Okay, Bro's O line got him sacked 9 times. Sure,
9
two,
times.
two of those you could put on him, fine.
For like
Every
100 yards.
every play call was a fucking pass. And then if it
Yeah.
wasn't, it was a terrible run play. It was actually like when you didn't even need to run in the second half when you should be throwing. Let's just run the ball up the middle. But no, O'Connell deserves blame. He's actually, to me, a good coach, but it's like Bro's not even in the same stratosphere as the Shanahans and McVays of calling offense.
Yeah, dude. They ran all game, and Aaron Jones still sold on my parlay, but whatever.
Yeah.
And what a game by the Rams too. They played
Yeah.
fantastic.
They were doing.
They really
they were
did.
doing work.
So
they shined.
Higby.
their D line, I mean, Jared Verse probably winning Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, that was ridiculous, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I knew he was a dog, but he really showed me that game. He came out. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I see now.
So with the Chiefs Texans, I mean, the obvious thing is Tank Dell put up a crazy game, 6 for 98 and a tutty in that first like half or 3 quarters that he played, and then he obviously
That's
had
crazy.
this almost potentially career-ending knee and leg injury.
Dude, he
sucks,
tore
dude.
and broke 5 different things in his
Yeah.
body.
Jesus Christ.
I
He's
don't
already
even
out
wanna
for the next
experience
season.
anything like that.
I haven't
He's
even
out
done-
for the.
How old
yeah.
is he?
My
Like
whole life.
24?
He's like 22. But,
Yeah, he was a rookie last year, right?
Yeah, he should be.
I'm pretty sure,
22.
yeah.
He's 25. Never
25.
mind. He's
Wow.
25.
Old head.
He's got a baby face.
Yeah.
He really does.
Looks like
But
bottom got him.
So what? He's not going to play until like he's 27, maybe.
Yeah, I heard he's
Yeah.
He'll turn
all
he'll
of
turn
next
26 and then miss the whole season.
he's out for
Mm.
the entirety of next season, which is
Yeah.
And
crazy.
then guess
Like,
what sucks is that bro's going to be due for a contract, and then what do you do?
Well, you know the good thing about him though, it's a lot of these
He's a-
guys that have came into the league that struggle with injuries never really got like a true like some of them never got a true chance to show like, hey, I'm a dog. But Tank Dell has actually been able to like put out a good body of work and be, hey, he's had some freak injuries. It's not like he's just tearing shit left and right because he's fragile. It's just freak injuries.
I hope that he
Yeah.
can be healthy again, like fully healthy.
I hope
Yeah.
But
But
without him, they might be kind of screwed. I mean, Nico gets Trent McDuffie, which I think is actually a good corner that a lot of people don't respect enough. But I mean, also Chris Jones in the front, like, is a problem. We know he can take playoff games over. Also, that
Right.
interior O line for the Texans has been pretty terrible. But I don't know. I
Where's
think
Cody?
the Chiefs. He's in here.
I'm right here.
You don't see him?
no, he's not on my screen over here.
Oh, Cody blocked you.
and let's
guess-
not forget, I mean,
Nah.
it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can't really go against Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, Xavier Worthy. Isn't Rashid Rice supposed to be coming back sometime soon too?
I don't know. But Hollywood Brown's back.
Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy,
D-Hop.
and D-Hop,
D-Hop.
Isaiah
Crazy.
Pacheco, and Patrick Mahomes. I've taken my medicine too many times. I've learned not to bet against Patrick Mahomes in
Oh,
the
I learned.
playoffs.
Oh, I learned last year, brother.
Yeah, and
You
I
put that band on it.
100% believe. I mean, they rested so many people against the Broncos, and they're about to be 3 weeks. He's about to have 3 weeks worth of rest. Like, it really is about to be a butt kicking. Like, they're about to go crazy. I mean, I listened to Booger McFarland today on this podcast, and he was saying, I would rather take rest over a simple game any day of the week. Like, rest is so helpful. I know they have the debate, rest over rust. Like, do you think you get more rusty when you rest a long time or what? Like, but no, I
I think
mean,
they're good, dude. They're one of those teams. They've done it so much. It's like this is
yeah.
just a part of their thing now.
And I 100% believe that the Chiefs are going to win that game handedly,
Yeah.
easily.
Give me 42-23 right now.
Cody
That's your
loves
score
this
prediction?
shootout. 42-23, Cody.
Yep.
I
40.
think they cover. I think it's like a 2 touchdown.
What's the spread?
-8.5.
I think they cover that.
I
mean,
think
that's a
they
lot of
cover that.
points.
It is a
That's
lot
a lot
of
of
points.
points. But I think
But
they cover.
The
yeah.
rest, thing is a big deal. I think the Texans also could just fold. Like, they really could. If they get down early, I mean, it could be over.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the Chiefs are going to come out and try to punch them in the throat, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if the Texans, if they give up 2 touchdowns and they kind of have some whimsical drives in the first quarter, if they're trying to fight from behind the whole game,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
It's
a
gonna
think
butt
be
it's right.
kicking.
fucked.
It's
Yeah.
wrap.
So we're all on Chiefs. That's what I'm hearing. Not a
Sadly.
surprise.
Yeah, I got Chiefs.
I
Well,
don't
Griffin,
want
you like the
Commanders.
Chiefs?
I don't want Mahomes. Oil.
Okay, you're good.
Never mind.
It's not Christmas anymore, so we're good.
It's not. But he can still be.
No, we don't need that. Never. He also just had a kid today. His like third kid
Oh,
or
he's
something.
cooking.
They
Yeah.
had
Mahomes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen to
Oh.
the name of his kids: Sterling, Bronze, and now Gold.
What the
They
fuck,
said
dude?
I can't even say it, but basically they were like, if you're the Gold, like if you're named Gold Mahomes or whatever, if you're Sterling and Bronze, you're like, what the, like, come on now.
Yeah,
What the
Like,
hell, bro?
Like Bronze.
He's got a baby named
Bronze has
Gold.
to be so
Gold
mad.
Bronze
And
has to
Mahomes.
he's
be
a middle
pissed.
child
Dude,
too.
Gold Mahomes coming out class of 2038, like, or 2048 or whatever it is.
Yeah, starter. First
No.
round,
That's just
number one.
unreal.
Jackson.
But
5-star.
Commanders and Lions is the night game, which, I mean, with Jaden Daniels, anything's possible, I guess. But for this, segment, we'll give him some respect. But I do think we're probably all going to say Lions as well here. That's like a 9.5 point spread.
There's so
I
many
think
injuries
Lions
on
can-
that defense. There's so many injuries on that Lions defense.
Yeah,
If
I'm picking
Terry
the upset.
when
The upset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying upset,
Mhm.
but with Terry McLaurin matching up against Terry Arnold, he's a really talented rookie. He went to Bama, so of course I got some hate, but he's a really talented rookie. But let's not. He's really handsy. He gets a lot of penalties. So I think anytime that you see 1-on-1 with Terry McLaurin and Terry Arnold, I'm not even joking. I think Jaden's going to take that chance 10 times out of 10, and he's going to get a lot of yards on penalties or some catches.
I've seen
Maybe a
Terry
pick.
sell.
I agree on that, and I think
Okay.
Commanders defense has
I
been playing
agree. I
really
agree if
well.
he sees Terrion Arnold, but what's the dude that locked up Jettas a couple weeks ago? That was crazy.
Dude, that guy
Who
with
is
that long
that?
last name who played him in high school.
Yes, that guy, he's a
Ego
problem.
Badum or whatever.
I can't find him right
Yeah,
now.
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's a
You on
Meek
the right
Robert. No,
track.
it's a Meek Robertson.
Amik Robertson.
He's like under the radar kind of guy, but he locked up Jettas. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
He did. It was
and
was a
Terry
clown.
on Sunday Night Football when the Falcons played, AJ Terrell had that man in the walls of Jericho that night. So
yeah, he sold. He sold.
literally.
I'm not a
That-
casual, but who's the Commanders' number 2?
Well, you learned him, De'Ami Brown.
True.
Oh,
No, it's him and Zacchaeus. I mean,
Zacchaeus.
crazy.
Yeah.
not screw Zacchaeus.
And
He's
Luke
been selling
McCaffrey.
for me too recently,
Luke
dude.
McCaffrey. Yeah, that's in the
There's a
Ertz,
baller.
36 or 34-year-old Ertz.
Ertz is still out there putting out work, bro.
Work,
He
Ertz,
really
dude.
is. Yeah.
But
Nah, but it's the
listen,
run game. It's Brian
Commanders,
Robinson.
yeah, the run game is a problem for the Commanders stopping Jameer Gibbs. What are they gonna do?
Oh,
True.
I don't think anyone can stop Jameer Gibbs.
And David
really
Montgomery's
can't.
Bobby
coming
Wagner's
back.
got
And
him.
yeah,
Bobby
Montgomery is
Wagner.
coming
Montgomery's
back.
coming back.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
bro.
week.
He's playing this
You
weekend.
can limit Jameer Gibbs to an extent, but like there's no stopping him.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Commanders
Watching
are
what they
28.
did.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I forgot about Gibbs, but he is an absolute game changer that I did not factor into the equation. So
Yeah.
I don't think they cover whatever the spread is, especially if it's 2 scores or more. But I do think that the Lions win that.
I think the
Oh
Lions are
yeah,
winning.
dude. I
The
mean,
Lions should win. The Lions should win the NFC. But
Yeah.
if there's a team that's gonna upset them, I think it's the Commanders. I don't think it's one of the other two. I don't think it's gonna be the Eagles.
that would
You know, I-
truly be an upset
That would
too.
be
That would
crazy.
be
Yeah.
upset.
You know
Oh.
what? I'm calling it. Give me the upset. Give me the command.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ooh,
I love
Cody.
it.
No.
Oh my god.
I
I
think
love it.
that
Come on
Hayden,
now.
I think
Hayden,
Terry.
what's your opinion on Dan Quinn? What do you think?
Dan Quinn is actually a good coach. He's just one of those guys that obviously, he's a part of the craziest bowl in Super Bowl. So I mean, just like Matt Ryan, it leaves a lot of bad taste in people's mouth. But if you look at just like Matt Ryan, Dan Quinn's got a good resume. Wherever he's done a good job of coaching up the guys. Nobody ever hates on him. He's a good locker room coach, kind of like a Tomlin-esque, but he's more reserved. He's a
Right.
good coach, obviously for a young quarterback to have, and a team that needs just something different. So it was good for them to get him. But I think like ultimately, bro is not doing a whole lot of anything other than just coaching defense. So it's like it's up to Cliff, and he's got Jaden Daniels. So I mean, it's really about that offense and what they do. So it's probably more like Cliff versus Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, like how that battle goes. And I'm taking
Right.
on that.
You like Aaron Glenn? I mean,
He's a good coach.
Cliff with an elite quarterback. I'm not even remember Cliff with Johnny Manziel, the stuff they were able to do.
I saw it firsthand.
That's almost similar to what he's able to do with Jay Daniels right now. Like he can really have some
Can really
fun,
cook.
and he can cook with Jaden Daniels right now. So
Hot take, but I think the Lions score like every possession. Literally, I don't see them not
No.
scoring.
I can agree with that.
This might be like 38 or 41 to like 24 or something.
I'm hammering
Yeah.
Jameer's over.
Yeah.
Jaden's gotta keep
I
up
agree with
on
Jack.
offense,
Yeah, Jane has to keep up.
or
Like
else
the
this game's gonna get out of hand quick.
the Commanders can't go 3 and out more than 2
Mm-mm.
times in a row. If they do, it's a wrap.
Also, like they
And the
got to get
Lions
something
cover.
they got to run the ball. 'Cause they have not been able to run with Brian or Austin Eckler the last month or two. It's been
If
terrible.
Yeah,
they
It's
can
literally,
get the
it's
run
like,
going, though,
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, the linebackers for the Lions are pretty nasty, whether it was Campbell or whoever it was they drafted this past 2 drafts ago when they took Gibbs
and
and
Anzalone's
Branch
dog.
and Anzalone. They spy Jaden. I mean, nobody's fast as him, but like, dude, that's still like 2 good linebackers that you could have interchange with the spies. And I don't
You
know.
got Kirby Joseph too. That's gonna keep shit in check in the back, like way back there.
Talk about Zach
True.
Ertz. That boy might never see a catch that game with Brian
You
Branch.
said that
and
about
Kirby.
T.J. Hawk and Xavier McKinney too, though.
No, I know, but I think if you have both Brian and Kirby Joseph, I don't think Zach
Yeah,
Ertz is
yeah,
good as TJ Hawkinson. Like, he's not going to get a whole lot.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
I mean, we'll see.
I don't know. It could be a good game. I just don't think it will be that great, but
I hope it
Yeah,
is.
you're right.
I hope
Do
it
we
is.
think
Though.
do we think Kingsbury gets a job though out of what he's done in Washington?
I don't
think he
think.
wants one.
Yeah, I don't think he
No?
will. No.
I don't know,
I-
dude. He strikes me as somebody who, hey, I mean, more power to him because I'm kind of the same way too. But like, he strikes me as somebody who's like, yo, if they're coming with that bag, I'm going too. You know what I'm saying?
What if
I
it's like
can
a
see that.
college team?
For
You know,
sure.
somebody that needs a coach in college. I don't know who, but I'm just thinking outside the box.
I
It's a
don't know.
possibility.
It would have to be somebody like really.
He just seems like more of a coordinator to me, bro. Like I think he's a great coach, but like when I think of head coaches, like unfortunately for the rest of these average Joes, I think Dan Campbell set a new standard of what a head coach should be. So like that's what I look at. And if you put Kingsbury and Dan Campbell together and you ask both of them to lead a group of men, who do you think is going to do it like without a doubt? That's Dan. I just think
Dan Campbell.
Cliff is just like a bro. You know, I don't know him.
Yeah,
but
he's
that's
a
how it
homie.
strikes me. Yeah.
Well,
Like he sounds like that. I'll like smoke a blunt with a player or something.
Yeah. Not somebody who's gonna command the ship, but somebody who would be a great deckhand. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like a McDaniel type coach.
Yeah, that guy's a fraud.
Yeah, that guy's a
Hey.
You see less of the McDaniels, more of the Vrabels coming back.
Yeah,
Vrabel's
100% agree. Like Vrabel, Dan Campbell, even Dan Quinn. I mean, if you look at the way that whenever they were in a 4th and below 6 situation against the Bucks, they went for it.
John Gruden.
John Gruden.
Is that
Find a way to get a
controversial?
job.
It's not a safe space.
Rex Ryan coming
No,
back.
it's fine.
No, he's not coming. Apparently, the Jets shut that down. The
Yeah.
Jets were like, "Yeah, we're
Real
not
quick.
interviewing him at
It does
all."
seem like Aaron Glenn wants to be the Jets coach. So DC
That would be-
wise, he's a
that'd
good
be
one.
crazy.
I don't know about head coach, but he should be a good coach.
Mike
No, I
McCarthy.
like the Lions.
I was just gonna go keep this thing moving. Just Rams versus Eagles obviously is the first game Sunday before the Ravens Bills. This one to me is a lot better than I think
It's
on
a
paper
conversation.
it's kind of better than Texans Chiefs. To me, it's better than the Commanders Lions because Eagles didn't look that great. You know, they got a little lucky with how banged up the Packers were last week. So
Right.
Jalen Hurts, I like Jalen Hurts. We talked about him in the group chat a lot this past week, but at the same time, Bro's missed a couple of games. You know, that's a lot of rust. Braxton mentioned being rusty and all that too. So I think that's more of an issue. But the thing is, the Rams are starting to hit on defense when they weren't in the beginning of the year when they first played the Eagles. So they let up
Right.
200 to Saquon, multiple tutties. Now it's easier said than done. It's you can say you can stop Saquon, you pretty much beat the Eagles, but at the same time, we know what AJ Brown and Smitty and Goddard are capable of, and Jalen's legs, plus that defense who has now turned a corner this past year with Vic Fangio. So I mean, to me, the rosters is better, but the Rams are to not be dismissed. I think they got a real shot.
No, I will call an upset on that game. I'm not.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I like the Rams, dude. After what they did to the Vikings, I mean, like you guys said, the Vikings were 14-3 in the regular season. They might have been on the decline with Darnold, but I'm just saying Darnold didn't have a lot of options. Like the way the pocket was collapsing and the secondary was low-key clamping. I really like the Rams on that matchup. I mean,
I don't know, dude. I think you look at the biggest matchup for me is going to be on the outside. Like you're going to have DeJean versus Cooper Kupp.
DeJean,
Then you're
Cooper
going to
versus
have
Cooper.
then you're going to have Quinyon Mitchell against Puka Nakua. And I think if you're able to take away Puka or minimize Puka and then take away Cooper, because honestly, he has not been putting up numbers in the past few games at all. So
They haven't really looked his
you
way.
take away those two things on the outside, and you're really left with what? Kyron Williams and I mean
Eagles are good up front too.
And they have an amazing defensive line.
Yeah, so
Jalen
I don't know,
Carter.
dude. I'd like to if
say
if
Jalen
Eagles
Carter's been
defense
a
plays
beast.
how they should, I think the Eagles get this done pretty handedly.
Now they did lose Nakobe Dean, their linebacker, but I mean that shouldn't be terrible because they do have Zach Bond, who kind of came out of nowhere and is putting up like MVP or Defense Player of the Year numbers. Now Quinion Mitchell-Dejean, Darius Slay looked great last week. That's a problem, especially when Cooper Kupp is not looking like prime Kupp. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but Braxton, I do think it is gonna be close. I don't know if it's gonna because Jalen and AJ can't get on the same page. That D line for the Rams is getting better, but the thing is, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, like to me, it's gonna eventually wear on that young D line. And I mean, Jared Verse might get a sack early. Maybe he gets a strip sack, it's a touchdown for that defense. But like, I just can't see this being the Rams' victory unless they get defense and special teams like touchdowns, because they're not gonna go like, to me, down the field on this Eagles defense consistently.
They got to get out early, dude. They're gonna honestly, the biggest factor in this game to me is probably besides the outside. I think it's gonna be special teams. Like if you can somehow get a few points on special teams on either side, like either team, I think that's gonna be the determining factor, dude. Like you got to get out ahead, execute on all three phases to even have a chance. But I think if the Rams can get out hot and start hot and score first, they'll have a good chance. But that's a big if on that.
What about you,
defense.
Cody? What are you thinking here?
I was gonna ask Cody's opinion.
Cody, what you think?
I like the Eagles. I like 23-20 in a close one. I think this is a good game. This is one I'm looking forward to because the Rams are hot right now, and I really think Jalen's legs are going to come into play on this one. I really do.
Yeah.
What's the spread on that game?
6 Eagles -6.
But I think Jared Verse is going to have.
They're like, that's a trap to me because they're like begging you to take the Eagles. I feel like
That does sound like a trap. Not gonna lie,
Well,
I really do.
game.
I like the Rams.
I
yeah.
do too.
I tell you what's a trap is Kyron Williams touchdown that game. That's a trap. Don't take that.
You don't think so?
Don't take that. Don't take Saquon Tutty either. He'll slide with 40 yards.
Yeah.
Dude, he could have ran that all the way.
That was
I
so.
know.
Why did he not run that? By the way,
He said
Yes,
he
he
didn't want to
knew.
risk getting injured or somebody
Vegas.
on his team running down and getting
Pulling
injured.
a hamstring.
oh,
That was dumb.
Bro is so thinking too hard, man.
It's okay
Vegas
to be
called that.
selfish sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
The
okay.
first touchdown scored this weekend.
yeah, we got to get
They were the
those
most random
rolling.
players.
Dude.
De'Ami Brown.
De'Ami Brown,
Probably
John
De'Ami
Johnson.
Brown.
Dude.
I saw something. I was telling my girlfriend about it. They said if you would have parlayed all 3 of those players to get the first touchdown. Hey, did you send that in the chat?
Yeah, it was like a million.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.18.
It's crazy, bro.
If you would have parlayed those 3 players for $10, 1.18
You
million.
know, this week is gonna be all chalk. It's gonna be Saquon. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Lamar, like something I don't know, Derek or whatever.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis. It's gonna be chalk. I feel like it gets like that when you get closer, like to the championship games. But I don't know. This is gonna be fun. Obviously, Seth, do you think Eagles win?
No.
No.
I think the Rams win. I'm
Oh.
with Braxton.
Are we split down the middle here?
Griff,
I'm-
what are
I'm-
you? 3-3.
I'm going Eagles.
I'm
I
Eagles.
think they just take it.
I think we're 3-3 here.
No, wait, are you Eagles?
I think
Hayden?
it's 4-2.
I'm
Oh,
Eagles.
it's 4-2 because Cody said Eagles.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. That's right. You said 23.
Yeah, but
He
I got
just
the
said
Eagles.
close
I got
game.
the Commanders in the upset in the other one.
Yeah. Okay.
I do-
I don't have an upset yet. I might in this next one. This one's like a pick 'em though. Ravens, Bills, obviously battle of the
Best
top
game.
2
I don't even think
MVPs.
it's an upset either way.
So let's see. They played in Baltimore early in the year on prime time. It was 35-10. Derek had 202 tutties. It's going to be 4 degrees and possible a lot of snow in Buffalo. How does
Give me
that like? Do
Buffalo.
you think to me I'm like, okay, that's snowing a lot. Sounds like a Derrick Henry game, but at the same time, what if it's like so bad and it's like he can't get going? You know how he gets better as the game goes
Can't get any
on.
footing.
Right.
So it's like, does that suck for them, or same with the Bills. It's like James Cook's been pretty damn good. They've leaned on him this year, which I'm surprised that he's been so good. But Josh's legs too is a factor. Can Lamar or Josh do this like by themselves if they have to? Like, who's the guy that you're like trusting in this situation? Because Lamar's also from Florida, and bro does play in Baltimore. But how many times you see him on the sideline immediately put the jacket on and put his face down in a hoodie or whatever it is?
And Buffalo's different
Luka.
cold than Baltimore.
It
I
is,
know they're
dude.
both up there, but Buffalo is so far up north, bro. And I just think I don't know, dude. I like Buffalo, even though the Ravens are playing at such a high level right now. I just think I don't know. I just think this year is Buffalo's year, bro. Honestly, to get all the way.
I'm with you, man. I like Buffalo. I think this is Josh Allen right here. I think he's gonna have an amazing day. I really
Also,
do.
he's the guy that's losing the MVP race.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
He's got a
think
little
Come with a
edge.
To Lamar.
vengeance.
he's about to ball in a snow day, have some fun.
I just don't want to act like Lamar doesn't have something to prove. I know he's
I
won a few
agree.
MVPs, but
That's where my head's at. I think
he's got
Lamar's just
something
gonna
to
have this
prove as
takeover
well.
game.
I mean, and I don't want to ignore the fact that the Ravens have 9 Pro Bowlers and the
Yeah.
Bills have 2. I know, Josh Allen does take over games, but I don't think he's going to be able to have his way with that Ravens defense the way he did against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Like, and I definitely think that the Ravens offense is going to be able to produce a lot of points with everything they have. Like, I really think this is I like the Ravens. I think they're going to win the game,
Mhm.
and that's solely because of the beast they have on offense and defense. Like, if I'm looking at this offensive line ranking, the Ravens rank at 8, and the Bills rank at 15.
Yeah.
That's not those are both really good offensive lines, but I think with everything that the Ravens have, even with the conditions, I think that the Ravens take this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be a lot of points. I'll take the over in this game. This definitely isn't going to be a 12-9 game. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of high up there in points because
Do we
both
know if
these
Zay Flowers
quarterbacks
is
are going to.
back?
Did not practice today. I think it's up in the air if he plays. Now,
Mhm.
I do agree with you, Brax. I am going to pick the Ravens. Two things to me stand out. One is, like you mentioned, they have 9 Pro Bowlers.
9 Pro Bowlers.
Then the fact that they already beat them. Yes, it was in Baltimore, but they beat them 35-10. And if you look at the stats, time of possession was not far off. It was 31-28. Usually, when you see a blowout, you're like, oh, one team maybe had the ball the whole time. But
Right.
they had similar time possession, but the difference was, I mean, the ground game. It was 200 yards for Derek, 427 total when you had nothing going from James Cook or Josh's legs. And then Josh
Yeah.
couldn't do a whole lot, throwing the ball. And I trust the the weapons are not great outside of Mark Andrews and Derrick Henry for the Ravens, but at the same time,
Right.
who the Bills really have and it's scary to the multiple Pro Bowl defenders on the Ravens. Marlon's having a breakout year again after he had a down year because he's playing
Yeah.
the star
Yeah,
position.
moving him into the
He
slot
he
has been
he moved
amazing.
back into the nickel. He was
Right.
struggling. He was
And
struggling
he's healthy.
outside.
And he's
He's
healthy.
healthy.
Then they
Yeah,
drafted
dude.
Nate Wiggins in the first round. And then plus
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton's a beast. Roquan Smith's a beast. Their D line is also pretty damn good. They get like some of the most sacks in the league. I think
You
Josh
saying,
Allen is a
dog?
dog, but it's like, how do you think? I mean, they're clearly gonna have a battle. It's gonna be awesome. But Vegas also is like putting the Ravens favorites because I think they kind of know like a lot of people are gonna see a home dog and be like, oh, that's a bet. Like we're going with the Bills, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I just feel like I'm going with Derrick Henry and Lamar on offense, and defensively they got a better squad.
True, this is the first postseason we've seen Lamar in with Derrick Henry.
Right.
True.
Yeah, he's been
Like
on.
I said, Lamar's got something to prove. He really does. I mean, people
Yeah.
still think of him. I think people are giving him the respect of a passer, but he still has to win a Super Bowl, like you promised Baltimore when he got drafted. And I think this is that year.
Well,
Like,
what's the narrative if he loses and does not play well?
See, I was
He
gonna
don't play
ask that
well this
about
game.
Josh.
I don't really think there's that much of a narrative. I think it's just a bad game.
I mean, if it's like a
I
good
think
game for
he's in
Lamar,
such a good spot, Lamar.
if he plays good and loses, what do you gotta say?
I don't see how he
I think he
could play
still
good
wins
and
MVP.
lose. I don't think he could play good and lose. I
What
don't
if
think
Josh
that's
Allen? What
possible.
if Josh Allen went ban for ban?
That'd be
Then
Info
then if Josh Allen goes ban for ban, then I think Lamar's defense comes and backs him up. I don't think the
I
But we're
Bears.
not
agree.
going to sit here and act like there's not a narrative on Lamar and postseason playing, right?
I know.
There is.
I
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
I thought he
balled
looked
out
pretty
against
good
Pittsburgh.
last
He
week.
looked
Yeah,
fantastic. He
did look
tore
good.
us
he
up.
looked great against
But
Pittsburgh.
yeah, but in 4-degree heavy snow weather, I don't know.
That's
I think it'll be.
Mm. But then you can
It's
just
gonna be
Yeah.
who can
just
run.
handle the
I
Bears.
gotta stat muse this Lamar Jackson in the snow.
Oh, stat muse in the snow. I feel like Lamar in the snow is something we haven't seen that much because you think about it, yeah, he plays up north, but like it's probably only a couple times, probably against like the Browns, something like that, randomly, and he's probably beat up on them.
No, they played in the snow in Pittsburgh.
Did they? See, I think of Josh Allen in the snow like every year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
Yeah.
snow
Literally.
player. Like
Yeah.
He's a beast, dude. I'm not gonna hate. Like they're gonna be in that game the whole time. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, they are.
It's
The
a
thing I like
problem.
about the Ravens, Justice Hill is good too.
Justice
Backup
Hill.
running back. Yeah.
You think he's gonna get some work?
Oh yeah.
What
I
do you
mean, Derrick
do?
Henry only takes like what, just over 50% of snaps.
Actually, you know what? You want to be honest with him. The first time they played, he got 6 catches for 78 yards and a tutty. So, I mean, he could get something out of the backfield.
Just
But
I could see it.
I don't know. We'll see. It's just also like coaching wise, very similar with both coaches defensive minded, both need to get over the hump. I think this is a massive game for quarterbacks and coaching to see like if they get over this one. Obviously, who knows if the Texans beat the Chiefs, but you still got to beat the Chiefs. That's probably the real test to see if you really made it or not. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, pretty much that wraps up all the NFL games. We have to talk about Ohio State Notre Dame to finish it up. That's coming up Monday. Ohio State's favored by I think 8. And I do like Ohio State, which I'm sure a lot of people do. I know Griff, you don't love them, but I don't know.
nah,
I
this one
think they're gonna win.
I don't think Ohio State can win the game. They looked pretty flat last week. And they still came out ahead. That fumble late was huge.
Yeah.
But they missed on a deep ball. They missed on a few deep balls, actually.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard gave up bad interceptions against Penn State, who never really impressed me, if I'm being honest.
And they still won though, so
They won by 3 due to a last minute
Drew Aller-
interception.
Drew
That was
Aller-
one of the
dude.
worst performances I've seen out of Drew
yeah,
Aller.
Drew
It was
Aller
so
sucked.
bad.
I
It was so
watched a
bad.
lot of Penn State this year. Drew was on all year. He played fantastic throughout this entire year.
And he had a
Glad he's
terrible
staying
game.
back and not
Yeah.
going
And last
So
week,
sad.
I literally picked Penn State because of that reason. I thought he was going to
because
ball
Drew
out.
was balling all year.
And
For him to have this many just wide open misses, that's so uncharacteristic.
It was
for him.
weird. I will
So-
say Riley Leonard's a problem though.
Drew Aller
Yes.
had a bad game, and they still only won by 3. I don't.
No,
Ohio
Penn State's
State.
defense was on one.
They
in that
were.
first
Abdul
half.
Carter is a beast. Abdul
Yeah.
Carter is a beast. I'm not
But
gonna
it's more
lie.
than Abdul Carter. He was not all over the place like he normally is. He was a little
Ohio State
sluggish.
is number 1 in defense, Brack. So I feel like Notre Dame's going to have equally just a hard time to get going like they did against Penn State. It's just going to be, does Will Howard shit down his leg like Drew Aller did or no? Like that's the question. Plus,
I don't think he
Ohio
does.
State has
I don't think he
Judkins,
does.
Travion Henderson. We know Jeremiah Smith and Igbuka. Plus, though line's not the worst. They're banged up, but they're not bad. I mean, Notre Dame's better in the secondary than up front.
Plus Jack Sawyer on the defensive
Sawyer.
line.
Yeah.
Plus 5 stars at
What did I
linebacker. With
put in
Caleb
here?
Downs on the secondary.
They have
I like
10 5-stars to Notre Dame 0.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I love Ohio State. I hate to say it, Ohio State covers.
Yeah, I agree.
That Michigan game, how they lost, that really reset them as a team, I think. I mean, they needed I'm not saying they needed that, but that really gave them a mission. They're like, all right, we're gonna run through every other team we play and I believe Notre Dame's just next on the list.
I
And
agree.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bigger college fan than NFL. Like, I pay a lot more attention to college football than NFL, and I really, I mean, at first I was kind of low on Ohio State, not low on them, but I just didn't think they had the discipline or they had the want. They didn't have the fight, but they've really been showing
Yeah.
some dog over these last few games. But Marcus Freeman is a good motivator and he's a really smart coach. I still believe Ohio State kind of not dominates, but I think they win handedly, at least by 2 scores.
What about
Yeah,
you,
I
It's
Cody?
really been on defense too. That dog that they've been showing.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean
Been coming out of the
that defensive
secondary. It's been
dog
Caleb Downs, really.
for
I mean,
sure.
he's been
Yeah.
I
nuts.
mean, in Texas, Quinn Ewers, I mean, he didn't have a great game, but Texas didn't play bad.
I also
Steve
think
Sarkisian's a great
I
coach,
I
and
know
they still won by 2.
I might sound casual when I say this, and I love college football. I watch it religiously, but like I don't really know if Notre Dame's got any big time players on the outside that I can trust.
Yeah,
So it's like
true.
I don't know, man. They got
Who's
Jeremiah
stopping?
Love, the running back, and Riley Leonard's legs, but like to me, Riley Leonard's not the greatest thrower. He's pretty good, but he's not great. They're gonna have to throw the ball.
Who's stopping Jeremiah Love?
I don't know. I mean,
And
he's a
if you
problem.
stop Jeremiah Love, who's stopping Cardinal Tate? If you stop Cardinal State, who's stopping Ubeka?
Oh,
Like
you're talking about Ohio
Egbuka.
State.
Yeah.
Ohio State. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Ohio State. I mean, I meant Jeremiah Smith. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I think, is going to. I just think they've got too many weapons coming out the backfield with
Mhm.
Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, and then they can throw it to literally all 3 of their wide receivers could be ones on any other college football team in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if Will Howard's not having a great day, they can lean on other aspects of their game, which I think is huge. So I don't know. I
Anybody
really like
anybody
Ohio
picking
State right
Notre
there.
Dame?
Nah,
No.
I'm
Okay. This is gonna be like
I-
we're gonna clip it and they're gonna win. And
I just
then
can't take Notre Dame.
it's gonna be
Like
bad.
I think they'll put. I think they'll play. I think they'll score. But like, if you're asking me who's winning, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to bet against Ohio State right now. Going back
Yeah.
to what they did against Tennessee, that's when I was like, oh, okay. Ohio State's like not playing around at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Oregon game, dude.
That
I
was
mean,
bad.
Yeah,
that was bad. It's
Yeah.
still wild that all 4 of those teams that got buys lost.
Yeah.
Like,
That is crazy.
there's
Literally.
some teams that's like the only way they're not going to win it all is if they get in their own way. Like other than that, like if as long as they execute how they should, they're probably going to win. And sometimes it's just you're better team than the other team, and that's just what it comes down to.
And
And
I
I
do
think
think
that's
they
what
learned
Ohio
from
State-
that. Yeah, they learned from that Michigan game, like Brack said. Like obviously they're pissed off, but now they know, like coaching wise. Well, Chip Kelly was like trying to play bully ball with Michigan, which was the dumbest thing ever. And now you're like, okay,
yeah,
bet we just throw it to Jeremiah Smith and Igbuka, and then we occasionally run with Judkins and Henderson, and then Will Howard can run too. I mean, it's a problem to mix it up for them. I don't know. They'll win for sure. I just don't know if it'll be like a blowout at first. It might take them some time just because they've got a lot on the line here. You know, they put so much money into the team. They got to win.
yeah. It's the most expensive roster in like college football history,
Yeah,
but I
Hell
like
yeah.
Ohio State.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
we
do
might have
too.
to pop into Discord for that game. If you want the link, Brax, we can send you it. But
Please.
We always in there.
for games and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So
but
send
nah,
that to me.
we'll send it
I got
out.
you.
And if y'all want, like I'm always saying, this is an open show every week to anybody who can make it. Wednesday nights.
Literally.
This was fun, and we'll
Hell
do it
yeah.
again for sure. We have a lot of off-season drama that we love to talk about, whether it's mock drafts or trades or coaching hires or whatever it is. Football season is going to end soon, so we got to soak it up. But then, we got to talk about March Madness, NBA's talk, even though it's died down a little bit because the play has been a little mid, but it will pick
Yeah.
up towards the summer and later in the spring. But like I said, NFL mock draft season's fun, all that kind of stuff's cool. But it'll be cool to see it. We don't know what's gonna happen with TikTok, and we'll post wherever we can. But like for now, this will get clipped, and we'll see what people got to say in the comments about our takes. But it was fun. I think we got some good different opinions. And
Yeah.
appreciate y'all boys for getting
I
on.
appreciate
shit
y'all
was
having
fun.
me on,
Hey.
man. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry we
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
done
that was
this
great.
sooner. I feel bad, but it's like maybe I was just not like more like I just should have been like, hey, let's get on. But I was just more like, okay, if y'all want, hit me up. But I got
Dude,
you.
I'm
So.
with it next week. Let me know.
Dude,
This
bet.
was awesome. Yeah,
Dude,
thank you
bet.
guys for having me on. I had a
It's
great
easier to
time.
talk to like multiple people because sometimes me, Cody, and Seth are just like, yeah, like we'll say something different, and then it'll just be like, okay, that's it.
We'll
Like,
all agree on it, and then it's like, there's not much to
yeah,
talk
we
about.
we
but-
need some
Right.
more opinions. But that was it for everybody that is listening to the actual podcast. I mean, I know a lot of our views are coming from the clips that you see on social media, but for those listening, watch on YouTube, whatever, we appreciate y'all. I am Hayden Haynes. That is Seth Killen, Cody Hart, Griffin Morris, Braxton McKinney, and Jack Leventree. And hopefully we get Caleb in here next week or something. I
That
don't
would
know.
be lit,
That's
yeah.
kind
That'd
of
be
crazy.
Awesome.
But
For
I
sure.
appreciate you guys once again. This is the Most Sports Show, and we're out. I'll
See you,
y'all
boys.
in the group chat.
It was